So I had another question that came up. So I had the opportunity, it'll be in an episode at some point, to interview the founder of VapeJet. And that company, they fill vape pens or vape cartridges, which are used in cannabis delivery, with the extract or the oils or whatever that go into those.
The fun.
Yeah, the fun that goes into the vape cartridges, essentially. And so that's what his machine does, the VapeJet machine does. And so it's a B2B business. And I wanted to ask him, but then I didn't want to put him on the spot and get too far away from exactly what his company does. But we've been hearing about the vape issues in the news and about the health risks or whatever. And I think one of the things I heard is that they now think it might specifically be related, or at least one of the problems is specifically related to vitamin E. And I've heard this kind of anecdotally before, that vitamin E is a common additive being thrown into these cannabis products. And do either of you know why that is? What's the deal with vitamin E? Why is that something being added anyway?
Well, vitamin E, and this I only know because I have a wife and a daughter, is supposed to be for skincare, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's like one of the ingredients in like the skin lotion. Stop me if I'm wrong here, but does this sound correct? Because vitamin E tablets, I used to have a girlfriend that would break them open and rub them on her elbows.
Sounds familiar.
Okay.
So I don't know, but I guess. And this was the last cannabis talk we were at, vitamin E in its natural form is non-toxic, but I guess when you put a flame to it, it turns into a type of cyanide.
Ooh, okay.
Turns out when you start putting stuff in your pipe and smoking it does things.
Right. So yeah. I guess the chemical reaction that happens there once heat is introduced causes a cyanide.
I see.
And that's what they've linked at least to some of those lung kind of diseases health scares. Now, I think, and this is in talking to our cannabis friends that we work with, that I think that the issue has been widely overblown in the media as far as like legitimate tobacco or cannabis or CBD use vapes that are commercially distributed through like the regular marketplace. Most, according to these people and according to some news reports that are a little bit more credible, most of these cases happen through a black market distribution. And that this vitamin E was introduced not in like reputable products or mostly reputable products, but more of a black market kind of sale.
Oh, okay.
So,
but nobody knows why they would introduce in the first. Like somebody was saying, hey, if we have this and they smoke it, they're gonna have better skin. Is that the? I mean, or I guess you vape. You don't smoke the cartridge, right?
Right.
You vape it. Is that the proper language?
I guess. Yeah. But all of it is just heating a substance up to create a vapor. Yeah. Right. Whether that be a nicotine salt or a nicotine like vape juice, like you would use in a cartridge or a delivery system for tobacco vaping. The alternative cigarettes, or if you're a cannabis user, then it has some kind of medium that the CBD or the THC and terpenes are suspended in.
So has the vitamin E issue been an issue in any of the tobacco vaping, I wonder?
That's a good question. I don't know. I believe that the majority of the vitamin E additives were from tobacco vape juice.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I don't know, but most of this stuff was black market. And again, I'm only remembering anecdotally from what I've been told.
Yeah, we're all looking at you because for some reason we're thinking, well,
AJ
is somehow going to be the expert on all this stuff. Yeah. That's why I bring it to you.
Yeah. I mean, full disclosure, like I vape both tobacco products and, you know what I mean? I have vape tobacco products and cannabis products, and both are vastly different. But the problem being is that a lot of this stuff falls into like a black hole where the Food and Drug Administration doesn't have, kind of like the supplement market.
I see.
And it's kind of where like bath salts and like fake marijuana, for lack of a better term, came from, was from mostly out of country manufacturers that were kind of skirting chemical laws. So much of them are very amalgamous to like a synthetic type of compound, and then they label it like not intended for human use, but people use it like that, right?
Yeah.
So so there's kind of like this black market for synthetic like cannabinoids, which is like the active ingredients in marijuana, synthetic synthetic painkiller type benzenes and stuff like that, and then synthetic kind of amphetamine type products like the bath salts are.
Yeah.
And then those are coming from irresponsible sources or out of country sources, and the FDA doesn't have sight over that because it's not a food drug. It's considered like a health supplement or something else like that. So
yeah, the other one I've heard about is Kratom. I don't know what it is, but I've seen signs that say
that
sell Kratom here. And
so
I thought
Kratom is
funny.
actually an interesting one because it's a plant, or it is a plant itself that mimics the receptors for opioids. So it's supposed to be a way to, if you to get off opioids. It has similar key unlocking mechanisms, I guess, in the brain that take away the withdrawal symptoms, but it's not a high that you get from the kratom. So it's supposedly supposed to, and it's supposed to help with pain relief the same way like CBD does.
Nice.
But it's controversial whether or not kratom is addictive itself, because it is like a health thing.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary. I can't remember what it was. It was on Amazon. It was a Joe Rogan podcast. I apologize. And somebody had gone really deep into like these Chinese manufacturers of these alternative kind of, fake weed or bath salts and that kind of stuff. And it was really an interesting listen if you ever get a chance.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of delved into that whole world of like semi-legal drugs. And I say semi-legal because they would be illegal in the U.S., but the U.S. basically banned all chemicals that are similar. In China or in outside of the U.S., it goes by a drug-by-drug basis. So what chemists will do is they'll come in and like plop like a chlorine on the end of something, just change the molecular structure of like say heroin to make fentanyl, and they'll stick something else on the end. Now it's a new compound, but it acts the same way as fentanyl, and then they release that because it's not illegal until the Chinese or whatever government then shuts it down.
Yeah.
Then they had to take it off, put another one on. So it's like a really weird shell game that happens, and all this stuff is untested, but there's a loophole to sell it through that market.
Wow.
Anyway, that's probably way more information than we.
No, that's good. Yeah, no, that's what I was looking for.